major festivals over the past few years. How would you compare playing a festival compared to a show like tonight, where?
Well, you know what? Actually, a show like tonight is the most festival-like show you're likely to play indoors. Because usually when you're playing your own shows at clubs, it's totally different from festivals. But this show, we're still sort of between two bands. We're not the main attraction. And we still eat at like a buffet-style catering thing, which is the main quantifier for festivals.
There's a giant sun behind us, not to give away FTP's production, but yeah, there's a huge sun out there, so it's like we're playing outside even though we're beneath a ceiling.
Yes. Also, this entire tour, except for tonight, has been outside, so it's actually been quite festival-esque.
Yeah.
Have any of them been rained out?
Not out, but
Montreal
rained.
Could have been. Montreal was wet.
Yeah, and soggy.
But it's cool. I had this theory, or it's not a theory, I had this thought that when you play venues like that, which are in fact just large renta stages and fields, there's no vibe. There's just inherently nothing. You come here and there's a ceiling and it's beautiful. And I don't know if you have like B-rate, there's a certain vibe that happens. Outside that doesn't exist. Like especially there's nothing. There's a stage and there's grass. And in the far distance, there's a cityscape.
Except for the rolling pastures that our Lord hath bequeathed upon us.
Except for those, which there's no vibe. And so when it rains, it's shitty and rainy and gray, but everyone's there and immediately the same thing is happening to everyone, and that creates like a vibe. And whether it's a good vibe or a bad vibe, you don't know, but it creates one. And
it
that's
does.
why the Montreal show was so good.
No, I do agree.
The show wouldn't have been as good if it was sunny.
Yeah, it's true. We've had some of our best shows ever outside when it's pouring rain, like Calgary Stampede a year ago. Yeah, no, it was a soggy crowd from beginning to end, but it gives them a chance to kind of like bond. Yeah, I think, and the crowd just like is like, you know what, we're here. We're staying here. We're gonna have a good time. So just go for it. Yeah. Just try and get me out of here.
And that's why you hear about, like, you see like that When I Come Around video of everyone throwing mud in Greenwood Stock. You hear about Radiohead's legendary 1997 Glastonbury performance where it was just shitty and rainy and like people are just all bonded together by that. It's really cool.
That's why it's called Jolly Old England.
That's why.
When you guys go to festivals, do you find yourself just hanging out on the bus most of the time, or are you trying to get out there, like put a hat and sunglasses on and like try to
we
get in the
usually
crowd?
have a van.
Yeah, so you don't want to hang out in there. It's just like, so mom's gone into Loblaws. We'll just hang in the van for a while. We're too cool to hang by the cart and ask for sugary cereals. Yeah, that's about the vibe that you get when you hang in a van at a festival.
You can, but yeah, I mean, festivals are, if you're there for any reasonable length of time, which is like half the time you are and half the time you aren't, it's kind of your big opportunity to see bands, because inevitably when bands come through Toronto, where we're from, we're on tour. Yeah. You miss all the bands you want to see. So if you're lucky, they all play at festivals that you play at, so you can sort of buzz around and see them. But that being said, I retreat to the refuge of backstage that either has air conditioning when needed or shelter when needed pretty often.
I've never actually festivaled, like where you like camp and you don't bathe for 3 or 4 days and it's just hummus everywhere.
Patchouli and hummus, acoustic guitars.
Like
you just
hundreds of hula hoops.
Yeah, just constantly walking into people's auras. But I love the way we do it. I love the luxury festival experience that we get.
So you guys don't get like old dudes coming around and offering you Molly?
No, I've never been offered Molly ever.
I'm still not totally sure what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that like
a prostitute?
Yeah.
It's a really nice girl that a lot of people.
She sounds lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Molly is like a nice girl's name.
Yeah, that's nice. She's always a sweetheart.
Like I feel like Little Miss Muffet's first name was probably Molly.
I agree. I don't think any terrible girl has ever been named Molly.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay.
What is it like playing at a festival when there's a lot of the vibe, is because people might not know your band as well because they're there, for like 20 or 30 artists. What is that? Is it a big difference in the crowd trying to create the vibe for people who might not know you as well?
Yeah, I think that's also why these shows are kind of akin to festivals as well, is that a lot of the people who are coming out on this Foster the People tour don't know us at all. And so you have to go in there with the goal of winning people over and keeping their attention. And I mean, here it's great because you kind of have them captive, if not captivated. They can't really go anywhere other than to go get a drink or check out the merch stand, but you're kind of the only thing going on in the venue. Where at a festival, there are hundreds of things going on. There's like 100 bands merch stands, and there's like 3 other bands playing at the exact same time as you, and apparently there's a drug called Molly that you could just trip out on and not ever want to hear our music. I don't know, maybe we're good Molly music, I don't know. But
possible.
I think that the thing is you have to go out there with your A game, where it's not that we lose that when we have our own show, but you go out with a certain sense of confidence, like, oh, we got this. People came to see us. And here it's like, people came here to just hang out, and we're just something going on while they're here. So we want to do the most that we can to keep their undivided attention while that happens.
Which totally has gotten harder as we've progressed. Because when we first started, it was like we were just always hungry, because everywhere you went, you were just trying to win people. But now we're at a point where we are in situations really often where we've won people. You know, we'll go play a show that's sold out, and it's people that are stoked on our band. It's not easy to engage them in a meaningful way, but you start at a pretty high handicap, which is great. And once you do that a lot, you kind of lose that, like, you don't lose it, but it's harder to like call up that part of you that is just trying so hard. I don't know if you get spoiled or entitled or what, but it's harder to like get out there and really, really work for it. And that's why I think festivals are healthy, and especially a tour like this. So at a festival, people have come to see a lot of bands, but here everyone came to see Foster the People.
Yeah.
That's why they're here specifically, and we are an obstacle in the way of them doing that.
Yeah.
And so we have to like overcome all of that, and then get to a baseline from which they maybe can judge us like objectively.
Yeah.
And that's really hard and really healthy to do, because you have to call on a whole different skill set and like work really hard, and I think it definitely makes you better as a band.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like session? How did that affect the way? I mean, is that something you're really concerned about, like getting it spot on and like really being nitpicky in the studio, or was that a really good experience for you?
Daytrotter's great because it specifically is like designed to make you not do those things.
Yeah.
It's really out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And for a band like us, that's really tough, because you do a lot of sessions for radio stations and stuff, and usually you set up your stuff and you have headphones on sometimes, and you're just like trying to be really accurate, and usually that is just the worst. It's the worst thing. It's not fun. It's not beneficial, because the thing about trying to do an accurate live performance is the most accurate live performance is the record. And you spend like 3 months and thousands of dollars to make it really, really accurate. So then when you're in like a session trying to do that, you're like, this is never going to be as good as the record, because we didn't spend a month mixing it and EQing it. So why are we just stupid? Daytrotters, like, use these instruments, try something different, who cares, it's fun, like, and if you go into it with that mindset, you're just all of a sudden just in a whole different zone. And I think we've done 2, and both times they've been really fun, because we're just like, I don't know, let's just do this now, and it's spontaneous and it's different, and it's exciting.
Do you think you have that mindset when you're going into a live show too, or are you trying to get it as close to the studio album as possible?
I mean, not as close to the studio elements as possible necessarily, but as close to what we've defined as the accurate live version of that song as possible. You know, after we make a record, we then practice and like suss out the live version of the songs, because you can't have everything. You know, there's too many things.
Yeah.
And then, usually once we've defined, some bands are really good at just like jamming it out and like feeling each other, but even our jams in the set, like we have extended like different things from the record, but they're heavily practiced and rehearsed.
Yeah.
Like there's no spontaneity really when we play live, and it's kind of a bummer sometimes, but it's also like, it's right, it's tight, and it's good. And when you're playing in front of these people, especially on an opening tour, I don't really want to leave anything up to chance. I don't really want to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take a keyboard solo here. Oh no, I'm bad at keyboards. I just remembered. Like, nobody wants to hear that. So you do it right and you define it, and that's kind of, our songs like that anyway. They're pretty tight. They're not like loose, jammy songs, and so I think it's
we don't.
High school reunion.
does that still exist? I thought Facebook was my high school.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, we haven't been. We've only been out of high school for a year.
Well, I've been actually. Mine would be coming up 10
7
years. No, my 10-year will be 2013. 1 year. Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah, 'cause I would be like, fuck. Okay. If I'm invited, I'll go if I'm around.
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to.
I mean,
see.
let's be honest.
I don't
What
know.
better? Like when you're in high school and you're like, how awesome am I going to be my reunion? How much more awesome could you be than be like, man, I'm so great. I bring my guitar, like.
Yeah,
pretty good.
better to go at the
Michelle.
10-year reunion where it's still going well than like the 15 or 20-year reunion where you're just
Some
like
were not so
pot-bellied and
You see my
yeah,
Like
yeah.
leather vest and yeah.